And it's not just about the environment, it's about our economy. And so how do you put a price tag on paradise?
Red tide has hit Sanibel Island. Dead fish are washing on shore, spoiling the picture of paradise.
The clear blue water you're used to seeing along the Lee County coast right now is nowhere to be found.
The cause? Lake Okeechobee releases.
It is decimating marine life. Thousands of dead fish and hundreds of sea turtles have washed up on local beaches.
At least 7 counties in Florida are under a state of emergency for a toxic algae bloom,
making it the 5th longest toxic algae event ever.
It just never seemed that it was going away.
If we don't have quality water, we don't have a state.
We lost over $250 million in gross revenue.
We had, 78% cancellation rates.
Is there a future in this industry? Are we going to be able to continue on?
We need answers.
Red tide is killing thousands of sea creatures in Southwest Florida and harming the tourism business
by what's become an environmental catastrophe.
There's signs say it all right here. Lake Okeechobee discharges are killing my business.
Massive 2018 bloom decimated our marine economy.
Red tide is now being ranked as one of the 5 worst toxic algae events in state history.
I mean, this is an economic disaster right now.
It's a catastrophe, and we have an economic crisis. And when they come here and see this, they're not going to want to come back.
This is our biggest industry in the state is tourism, and we're killing it.
Yeah, so let me just start with, so of course we know that red tide is a naturally occurring organism. It's been reported before the Spanish arrived in Florida. So we know it's part of Florida's history, it's part of our waters. But what isn't natural is the intensity and the duration of the blooms that we're experiencing today. We know that we're making it worse. And so, when you add more nutrients to an existing red tide bloom, it essentially supercharges it. And so, when you have these supercharged blooms, the red tide, which produces a neurotoxin, can kill fish, invertebrates, it kills sea turtles, manatees, everything. In fact, it's harmful to humans. We know that from health studies that have been done.
People save up for years to afford a vacation on the beautiful beaches of Florida, particularly in Sanibel and Captiva, and so in their mind they've painted a picture. Within their family unit, they've created expectations, and when they come and those expectations are not only not met, but shattered by a potential red tide bloom, they will leave. And we know that from our hotels here on Sanibel, over 50% of them would not return. So once they've canceled and left, we won't see them back on the island, typically ever.
We just saw such a extreme firsthand perspective of how this was impacting the economy, and it just looked like nobody was paying attention. You have scientists that were certain that we were on a downhill trajectory. They were unable to really motivate the businesses, and I think collectively when we're all coming together as fishing guides, as scientists, as environmental organizations, chambers of commerce, saying we need to do something about this, that message really started to resonate. You just hear these conversations that are, if we could just quantify the impact of this, what does this do to our economy, it would be a powerful message.
And we really needed to figure out, okay, what is the economic impact of water quality, whether that means that, how many people are coming here, how many jobs is it generating, what is the value of our natural environment and water quality to our tourism-based economy. And that was something that really needed to be quantified, and it wasn't prior to this study.
So what we know from this study is that the next red tide event will cost us billions.
So on a normal day, Sanibel and Captiva is paradise. But simply put, when the water quality is an issue, it makes things a lot harder to sell on the islands. So when you lose market value with median sale price, average sale price, that negatively affects the property taxes. Property taxes go to pay for infrastructure, roads, police, fire department, any of those particular emergency staff that are here to assist the community. And when the property values do not increase, or in a water quality issue, they go down, you're in a situation where property taxes go down, and that negatively affects all of those community efforts, city, county, whatever it may be.
So the implications that we count on through tourism are so much bigger than just some dead fish in the water. It's the air quality that we breathe. It's the taxes that we pay on our houses. When we don't have that tourism to count on, somebody's picking that up, and it happens to be your local taxpayers. So when people don't see that correlation between air quality, water quality, real estate, tourism, it's disheartening because it's all connected.
I mean, from the moment you would hear anyone open their door at the condo building, coughing, in the garage, coughing. I couldn't sleep. I went to my doctor, then they're putting me on medications. You know, first one thing, and then it wasn't stopping. Then I'm on 2 and 3 medications. So I kept thinking, I don't think I can live on the beach. But, you know, at first you're like, this is a temporary situation maybe, and I seem to be one of the only ones talking about it that much.
1 in 5 jobs here in Lee County is a tourism job. And so we know that when 43,000 lost jobs from one algal bloom is realized, that puts the majority of our employees in tourism out of work. We're already facing a crisis, and so having to find employees once they've left that industry is almost impossible at this point.
The stresses of life really take hold, because you're not only thinking about your family, you're not only thinking about, am I gonna make the rent for the building, or if I'm gonna cover this bill or that bill. Now you're looking at, you know, at that time, I think I had right around 52 employees. You know, I'm thinking about 52 employees. Like, what's gonna happen to them? Like, if we don't get this stopped and we don't get these people coming back because they truly believe that our coast is absolutely devastated, you really start to stress out, because I have families that rely on me, that rely on the restaurant to supply their livelihood, which all falls back on me, because here we are, the owner of this business.
And then that year, it just all kind of blew up.
At least 7 counties in Florida are under a state of emergency for a toxic algae bloom.
Authorities recovering a total of 9 dead dolphins in just 3 days.
A 25-foot whale shark washed up on the beach early this morning. Sadly, though, that whale shark was dead. Take a look at these pictures.
Looking back at our records, we did have over twice as many red tide patients in 2018 than we did the previous year. So we saw over about 600 animals just in 4 months, just for red tide. The fact that, you know, we used to be a big hotspot for birds and bird watching. Now that you really can't see a lot of these guys anymore, it probably will affect tourism.
We didn't understand, I think, the true depth of the domino effect that a red tide event on the coast has several miles inland. And
there were reports of impacts as far away as Orlando. I know Disney had lower numbers and visitation rates as a result of the harmful algal blooms that occurred in 2018.
Being a fisherman, making your living on the water, it matters.
the quality of the water, the quality of the fishery, the quality of the ecosystem. So I think at the peak of it, we were about 76 miles offshore and we were seeing giant red tides out there. We saw declines in landings, not in value, but the landings of our fishery from 50 to maybe 80%. And it was a complete collapse. I mean, there was no ability to make a living. So it really impacted my business. It impacted the restaurants that I sold to because of our tourism, the decline that we saw. I mean, we're a water-based economy here in Southwest Florida. This is a blue economy. Everyone's tied to the quality of our water, so the impacts are great to the restaurants, the hotels, every industry here. It's so interconnected and we're so interdependent on each other. When you start to knock some of these things out, everything collapses. When you lose your fishermen, because we are the canary in the coal mine, those industries cease and they don't come back.
The data from this economic study has really taken the fight to another level. It has given us new tools to be able to provide to our legislators so that we can make the argument of what needs to be done here to protect our water, to improve our water, and not only quantify the impacts of poor water quality, but also to quantify the benefits of clean water. Number one, what we need to do is try to restore these systems through the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan. Some of the critical projects that need to be done to be able to store, treat, and convey that water south, like the Everglades Agricultural Area Reservoir, the C-43 Reservoir, storage north of Lake Okeechobee. All of those projects are going to help us be able to mitigate some of those harmful discharges that come into our coastal waters. But we also need to work really hard in our own watersheds to try and address the loss of wetlands, trying to conserve more lands.
When we educate people to be advocates, not just in Tallahassee or DC, but advocates within their own community, that it becomes a ripple effect.
If you can reach the people that are coming here for this and just give them a little bit of education and get them to get involved just a little bit is a snowball effect. It's going to take everybody to continue the fight.
Find your passion in what you want to help protect and support an organization that supports your internal mission as well.
Well, think of it as a team. We're a team now. We're all working together. Now, we might not agree on everything, but we can come together to the same table and we can discuss our differences, and from those differences we can find common ground. And from there, anything is possible, in my opinion. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people coming together, sitting around the same table. When you have people willing to talk with each other, to solve problems together, and find ways forward together, you have just ignited the most powerful effort in history.